What if I told you there's a plant that weighs less than a candy bar, but sells for more than an ounce of gold? It doesn't grow in jungles, it doesn't require a fortune to harvest, and you could probably fit a year's worth of it in your pocket. Yet governments track every gram. Smugglers risk their freedom to move it across borders, and in some countries, growing it without a license can land you in prison. This isn't a rare orchid or an endangered tree. It's a flower you've probably seen in your grocery store, but the truth behind its price tag and the laws that surround it might change how you look at your spice rack forever. This is the plant worth more than gold. Number 1. Well, there's only one plant in this video, and it goes by many names: red gold, the crimson thread, and the most expensive spice on earth. Crocus sativus, saffron. You've seen it in paella, in Persian rice, in golden milk lattes. A few delicate red threads that transform a dish. But have you ever wondered why a tiny vial of saffron costs more than some bottles of wine? Here's the shocking truth. Saffron is harvested by hand. Each flower produces exactly 3 stigmas, those tiny red threads. It takes around 70,000 flowers to make a single pound of dried saffron. 70,000 flowers, hand-picked, hand-separated. No machines can do it without destroying the delicate threads. That's why a pound of premium saffron can sell for over $5,000, sometimes more than the price of gold per ounce. But here's where the story takes a dark turn.
In the United States, you are allowed to grow saffron in your backyard for personal use. No license required. No DEA agents knocking on your door. But if you try to grow it commercially, even on a small scale, you enter a legal minefield. Why? Because saffron is not just a spice. It is a currency. In countries like Iran and Afghanistan, where the majority of the world's saffron is produced, the government strictly controls who can cultivate it. The black market for smuggled saffron is enormous. Billions of dollars flow through illegal networks. In the US, commercial saffron cultivation requires agricultural permits that vary by state. Some states require you to register your crop. Others treat it as a controlled agricultural product because of its high value and its use in money laundering. One farmer in Vermont tried to scale up his saffron operation a few years ago. He ended up in a legal battle with the state over water rights, soil permits, and even labeling laws. His crop was legal. The red tape nearly buried him. So while you can grow it for fun, growing it for profit is a different story. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't follow the rules. Smuggled saffron is a multi-billion-dollar underground industry. In Europe and the Middle East, criminal networks mix high-quality saffron with fillers, dried flower petals, dyed corn silk, even shredded paper, and sell it as pure. The profit margins are staggering. A kilo of pure saffron bought legally for a few $1,000s can be diluted and resold for 10 times that amount. And because saffron is small, lightweight, and nearly untraceable, it's a favorite for drug cartels looking to diversify. In 2018, Spanish police seized over 300 kilos of adulterated saffron, worth an estimated 5 million euros. The traffickers were using fake labels, falsified certificates, and a network of middlemen stretching from Iran to Europe. In the US, the FDA has issued multiple warnings about imported saffron containing undeclared allergens and artificial dyes. But the real danger is for growers who try to bypass the system. If you're caught cultivating saffron with the intent to sell without proper permits, you could face fines, asset seizure, and even trafficking charges. All for a flower. So why is saffron so valuable? It's not just the labor. Saffron contains rare compounds, crocin, saffronal, picrocrocin, that give it a unique color, aroma, and medicinal properties. Studies suggest it may help with depression, memory loss, and even vision. Pharmaceutical companies are investing millions in saffron-based drugs. But supply is incredibly limited. Saffron only grows in specific climates: dry summers, wet winters, well-drained soil. The global yield is only about 300 tons per year. Compare that to gold, which is mined at over 3,000 tons annually. Scarcity plus demand plus impossible automation equals a price tag that keeps climbing. And here's the kicker. Pure saffron has outperformed gold as an investment over the last decade. While gold prices fluctuate, high-grade saffron has steadily risen. Investors in Europe and the Middle East have started buying saffron futures, betting on a spice like it's a commodity. So the next time you see a tiny vial of red threads for $50, remember, you're looking at a plant that, ounce for ounce, is worth more than the jewelry around your neck. Now, the question you're probably asking, can I grow this in my backyard and get rich? The answer is yes and no. Saffron is actually easy to grow in USDA zones 6 through 9. You plant the corms in late summer, they bloom in October, and you harvest the stigmas by hand. A single corm can multiply into dozens over a few years. But scaling up is the problem. To grow even a single pound, you need a plot about the size of a football field. And you need to harvest every flower by hand within a 2-week window. This is backbreaking work. Then there's the legal side. If you sell to a local restaurant, you're technically operating a commercial agricultural business. That means licenses, taxes, inspections. In some states, you need a food handling permit just to sell dried spices. And if you try to sell without paperwork, you risk being labeled an unlicensed producer. In the world of high-value crops, that can attract attention you don't want. So can you grow it? Yes. Can you get rich? Maybe, but only if you're willing to navigate a maze of regulations and spend hours on your hands and knees picking threads the size of your fingernail. So there you have it, the plant worth more than gold. Saffron is a reminder that the most valuable things in the world aren't always dug out of the ground. Sometimes they grow right at your feet, but the law, the labor, and the market make them just as hard to reach as any precious metal. Have you ever tried growing saffron? Or maybe you've bought some and wondered if it was the real thing. Drop your story in the comments. And if you want to know more about high-value crops you can grow legally in your backyard, without the red tape, click that video right here. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.